now joined by Karen Mickelson, who once made over 1,000 cupcakes for the hit TV show Cupcake Wars, which makes her more than qualified to be a guest judge at the Palos Verdes Street Fair and Music Festival, which will be June 9th and 10th. Thanks so much for being with us today.
Thank you for having me, yes.
Now let's talk about your company first. You're in Redondo Beach, and I know you have your own catering company. That's called Culinary.
Creative Culinary Group.
Okay.
And I work primarily as a personal chef.
All right.
And food stylist. It's a boutique culinary focused business.
Okay. Now, on the Cupcake Wars, you had to make, you were one of the bakers. How the show works is two of the contestants, it comes down to two contestants, and they have to make over 1,000 cupcakes. So they each get 4 helpers. You were one of the helpers. Now, what is the experience like to be making 1,000 cupcakes on a TV show?
Well, you know, I mean, it's very different because you have a lot of cameras, you have a lot of crew around, a lot of things that you need to be careful about, but it's also the energy of the contestants.
Absolutely.
Because some people just come in and they've got it all together and they're organized and they're having a great time, and then other people are just unraveling and falling apart at the seams. So you have to be able to maneuver around the different personalities.
Absolutely, and I'm sure it's a little bit stressful because you've got 3 and 4 different kinds of cupcakes to make, so one person's doing one thing at icings and it just gets a little bit crazy.
Right, and if you've got people that have shut down and they don't want to tell you what they need done, that's a little tricky, but it's intense.
Yeah, very intense. Now, you're going to be one of the judges at the street fair. This is the first time they've had a cupcake competition. So let me ask you, what makes an award-winning cupcake to you?
Well, I have some specific qualifications. One is it needs to look beautiful. Okay. So you want it to look, you know, very pretty, so it's inviting. You eat with your eyes first.
That's right, very good.
And then you want, of course, it to taste delicious.
Yes.
And one of the things is a lot of times people like to put a lot of dyes, you know, bright colors, use gum paste or fondant to make the really great decorations. Right. But ultimately, you really want to think about eating that cupcake. I think classic flavors are good. Okay. I mean, obviously on the show we get all the crazy stuff. It could be blue cheese and salmon and, you know, things that you're not going to want to do, hopefully when we're judging.
Yes, I hope not.
I don't want to eat a salmon cupcake.
I'd rather have chocolate myself.
Exactly. So the classics, vanilla, chocolate, those are always very popular. Okay. Doing something well and keeping it simple is probably a better goal than just trying to go too crazy. And sort of getting back to the whole package and the look of the cupcake, you don't want it to look so decorative and then sort of entice people that it's going to be really delicious and then it doesn't measure up.
Correct. Now the cake, like you were saying, the cake should taste delicious. What about fillings? A lot of people add fillings now to cupcakes.
Fillings, it's sort of a French take on doing a cupcake, so you want to add in a pastry cream, a buttercream, a filling inside the cupcake, removing some of the cake and then putting in a sauce or a cream filling. And that will create moistness and a little bit of interest to the flavor.
Now what are your favorite fillings to use and your favorite cupcake flavors?
My favorite cupcake is probably a s'more cupcake with a toasted meringue.
Ooh, that sounds delicious.
And a little bit of graham cracker around the side, so I like that. I also like root beer buttercream.
Ooh, excellent. Now, do you make that with real root beer?
You actually can use a little of the Loran oils.
Okay.
Those are good.
Love
or you
the
can
oils.
reduce
Love the
your
oils.
own root beer. So you can actually make a syrup with that and add that in. So that gives you an option. And
we were talking about icings, buttercream. I love all of the tips that you can use, the pastry bag. You know, we used to just ice it with a knife, and now you don't have to do that. They look beautiful, as we can see your cupcakes.
Oh, thank you.
And they're so fun. So let's look at some of your cupcakes and tell me how you've decorated them and what you use to decorate.
Okay, great. So this is just a white vanilla brown, butter cake. Okay. And then this is a brown buttercream. Okay. So very simple but decadent, rich. It's basically butter, with sugar in it and a little bit of flavoring. Okay. So that's from the brown butter.
Now, do you use butter, margarine? Do you always use butter?
Always butter.
Always butter, okay.
And the quality of the butter makes a difference as well. It's sort of like when you're cooking, you want to do a good quality of wine.
Excellent.
Not a bad wine to make a sauce, but a good wine. Okay. So same with the butter.
Great
you want
tip.
to do a good quality butter. I usually choose an organic butter, and if I'm shopping retail, I might go to Whole Foods or something like that.
Great.
There's lots of options out there.
For sure.
But you can look and see what's on the market. This is actually a white chocolate buttercream. So almost like the topping that you would get on a cheesecake.
Yum.
And then instead of dyeing this with a food coloring or a gel or a powdered food coloring, I used Marionberry.
Oh, okay.
So I do, sometimes the colors don't pop as much, but I like the actual flavor of putting a fruit in to give it color instead of a gel or
a dye.
A dye,
right.
Yeah, because then you know you don't have like a orange tongue or a green tongue or something.
Well, and I know a lot of people make red velvet and they add a lot of red dye and it's
and there's
too
a
much.
Taste. Sometimes there's an off-putting taste from that. So if you really want to use like the more subtle colorings, you can use an apricot jam, you know, strawberry jam. Fresh fruit is always good as well.
Now, with the purple ones in the box, how did you get the cone on the cupcake?
Okay, yeah. So this is a little bit of finesse.
Okay.
I did make these last night. It was a late night. But this is really, you want to go and pipe this in, and then you're going to make like the little mounds, and you build it up. Okay. And then you're going to take your offset spatula, and this is where the finesse comes in, and you just sort of pull it around. And that's sort of the balance of flavor. I mean, you have a lot of, you know, top frosting, buttercream, and then the cake, so you may not want to put something in the center with this one because you're going to have a lot of frosting. And then in terms of decorations on top, we talked briefly about fondant, gum paste, all of that. The really fun flowers that look pretty but don't taste good.
Right.
This is just a white chocolate chip.
Oh, okay.
So something simple that's going to be edible, that you don't have to take off, or that when you bite into that delicious cupcake, you're not like, okay, what's on top?
Yes, exactly.
Can I throw that away?
Yes.
So this is something that you can just continue eating. And I do like chocolate decorations that are have transfer paper on them or something that are decorative. You can do like a little cookie on top, anything that's going to be edible and enhance the overall flavor. Okay,
so you're really looking for simplistic but amazing taste when you're going to be judging cupcakes.
Taste, texture. You don't want the cupcake to be undercooked.
Okay,
there's
that's
a
good point.
Delicate balance.
Right.
No, you know, nothing undercooked. You want it to be, you know, very light. Could be dense, could be light, but you want it to, of course, not be dry.
Right.
So that's important. I don't prefer, like I said, all the crazy decorations without the flavor. I'd rather have the flavor.
Absolutely.
But it also needs to look like it's well crafted, because I want to make sure that if I'm going to eat something, that maybe somebody took that care, and if they're delivering it to me and they're, you know, wiping the sweat off their brow, I just guarantee you right now I won't be eating it. So you know, sanitation is important when people are making it, and thinking about the person that's actually going to eat it.
Right.
So,
and again, Karen Mickelson will be the celebrity guest judge at the Palos Verdes Street Fair and Music Festival. Thank you so much for being with us. But Karen, we have to taste your cupcakes.
You gotta try.
Now.
Okay.
Yes, we have to taste.
Here you go.
I'll be the pre-judge here today, and I have to dig in because this looks delicious. Delicious.
This is the brown butter buttercream.
Brown butter. Okay, with the best
rich.
butter ever.
Okay.
Ready? Oh my. Excellent. She'll be a great judge.